Hey, Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel, where, of course, it's all Juve all the time. It's great to be back. It's great to be back.
New intro. What?
Yeah,
What
I
was
did an
that?
intro, and I kind
Awesome.
of blew it because I didn't get a chance to. I forgot to hit the live. This is how long I've been away that I've already forgot to, do it properly. I almost want to play it back for everybody.
Just play it again. Just play it again.
Let's just play it again. It's brief. It's brief. Let's get you fired up.
Tevez sta solo, Tevez al limite dell'area, li fa fuori tutti, Tevez, si apre la porta, Tevez, gol, da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Oh yeah, baby.
I like it.
I like it too. I'm jacked up already. Look at how what? New intro. Oh yeah, we like to change things up every now and then. Get spiced up here. Bob, as always, good morning. Good morning, amico. Let's go. We got Juventus Bologna today. Okay. Just shout out to the lads who covered for me last weekend. I was away at a final, and we were joking about it in the green room. Typical Juventus fashion, unfortunately. We made the finals, lost 1-0, unfortunately.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You know what Chiellini said. You need to make it to finals to lose them.
There you go. There you go. It doesn't make me feel better though, because I wanted to win it. I really, really wanted to win it, but that's okay. That's okay. So Juve Bologna, we're gonna go through all the news. There's been quite a bit of news actually this week. We got some contract extensions. We've got some of the transfer rumblings that we'll tackle as well, and then we'll get primed up for this actual matchup. Real quick for everybody tuning in and whatnot, make sure you show some love to the sponsor, stripedheartsapparel.com, and they just released this little ditty right here, Il Primo Vero Tripleta. Okay, so celebrating Juventus being the first club to take down UEFA's 3 major trophies. So this is a beauty, available in black, gray, and white. For everybody that has already shown love and supported the podcast by checking out stripedheartsapparel.com, we thank you. For everybody else, check it out. See what they got. They got a ton of custom gear. So
see, here's the problem with that. They keep coming out with new gear, and I'm still in like the last round. So I got the Trezeguet shirt here. Like, I just got to buy more stuff. I just got to keep buying stuff.
It's true. They come out with a lot of stuff. I know Omer's just waiting for these tank tops to come out, and summer's almost near, so that's going to be coming out for sure.
Man, being a diehard fan is expensive.
It is. It's true.
It's true. Jeremiah, John, great to have you all here. Guys, where do we start with the news? I want to start with the FIGC and what a complete joke they are and how laughable this is. So we know, obviously, we talked about this when it first came out. We talked about the fact that they're trying to tell teams what they need to be selling players for and what their value is and whatnot, and saying that you're overselling your players. You simply cannot do that. Like, it's laughable. I mean, this whole case was a joke. Fast forward to this past week where they're using like, you can't make this shit up, man. Yeah, they're using Transfer Market, okay, the website, as their basis on player valuations, and you have an actual contributor to Transfer Market's website saying, I do this on the side. Like, it's
like me doing it.
Yeah, like, I'm just making this up. Like, they're using this as a basis in some countries as to what these player vals are, is a joke. And sure enough, how convenient, like a day later, they throw this thing out and they're just like, complete joke. But absolutely laughable. But the part that frustrates me the most is that the FIGC, whatnot, they continue to try, instead of building everything up and together, they continue on these witch hunts to try and shoot down their own. And it's an absolute joke. But you guys, I mean, get in there and go on it. I can't
Omer,
go
ahead.
How laughable this whole thing is. And yet we continue to see racism be pushed to the side, and everything that should gain attention and traction and be dealt with. And then you have this joke of a witch hunt. You guys thoughts?
Well, I don't know what to think about them anymore. It's like eventually, if they'll, something will stick. They keep throwing accusation towards Juve, something will stick, and everyone will suffer from it. Just look at 2006 and how much time it took to Italian football to get back to being relevant again. And guess who did it? The guys who were demoted to Serie B. It's like you couldn't handle the pressure, and then you try to do that again. You keep complaining about the national team and youth players and foreign players and blah blah blah, but you're just shooting yourself in the foot. And my initial thought was, what's the end goal here? Okay, let's say Juve bought a player who's worth 40 and thought that he was worth 60. How does that bother you? You've spent more money, and just like instead of making everyone better and investing in the youth and funneling more money to facilities and stuff, you just try to make the better teams worse in order for the league to be equal. And it's ridiculous. It's an absolute joke for everyone who reads it. Of course, they were acquitted of all charges, which means that the jury basically said, not the jury, the judge basically said, that's a load of crap. You have nothing here. You just it's a witch hunt. So I hope that puts that to bed, and they'll start focusing on serious issues like racism and violence, and some teams playing with COVID-infested players against other teams. I don't know. It's just I leave it up to Anthony because there's nothing else to say about it.
Yeah.
No, you can't really. There's not really much more you can add. Like the main thing for me was, and Al, you said it. It doesn't do anything to build up what we're trying to do. Like you keep going after your big teams. It makes no sense. And the only thing that can come from it is you're hurting your own league.
Yeah.
So now someone else somewhere will investigate this in another league, and all it requires is precedence. In legal terms, you just need to set precedence, and then this will probably come back down the road. I'm sure salary caps eventually it's going to come into play, but the way they went about this, it's laughable, and it's sad. Like it's really sad because you want to support City, us as Juventus fans and all the other teams, their fans around. But it's really sad that it's come to this, and there's no positive that could have come from this. And and especially with someone put it in here with the racism that goes on with some of the fans, and all clubs have this issue. Like, let's focus on that. Let's focus on getting that out, and instead of this, it's just a silly witch hunt. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, it's super frustrating as a supporter of the league and a team in that league, because again, you're trying to bridge gaps here on EPL especially and whatnot, and stuff like this just shines again. There's no end goal that spins this into a positive. It just continues to shine a negative light. The fact that the case that you're trying to build they've tried to do this before and it failed, because again, the whole basis is ridiculous. Who are you to say what a team can sell a player that they own for? And to try and build any case off of this is just ridiculous. So it's failed before. It failed now even more miserably than it did before. And it just, in the end, everybody looks bad involved. So it's ridiculous, except Juventus, of course, who are innocent, and we are no strangers to being innocent. Okay. Always innocent. Always.
I'm just saying, to Omer's point, like what's next? Like, you just know someone at the FIGC, they're gonna, let's go after the big teams. And listen, Napoli was in on this one too, so it wasn't just Juventus. Like, they were looking at multiple clubs. Like, what's next? It's like you can't really look forward to the league. Like, why do we need this drum? We don't need it. Let's just play football and try and build up the league as best we can.
It's an absolute waste of time for everyone.
Waste of time.
Dragging players into courts to testify, those 19-year-olds, asking them what they do and what was their... It's just a bunch of clowns.
And we've talked about this before too, when we were talking about the national side, when the national side failed to qualify yet again for the World Cup. We talked about, Swadid here is talking about the infrastructure and everything. There's so many things, and the government and the FIGC, like, everybody is fighting Italian football. It's crazy. It's like they're fighting their own game from progressing. You have the government that's like, well, no, you're not making enough money to justify doing this and whatnot. Well, how are you gonna? It takes money to make money. So you have the government shooting them down, and then you have the FIGC just doing ridiculous stuff like this. So in the end, very, very bad look for the FIGC, for Serie A. And yeah, they need to straighten themselves out. It's an absolute joke. So in the end, all the teams acquitted, and absolutely nothing coming out of it other than a very, very bad look. Now, let's get to some of the rumblings here. Morata, we want to start with Morata. And it's funny because all of these, well, we got about 3 or 4 of them here, transfer rooms. I was like minority on all of them, I think, this week. So took a beating on social media, but it's okay. I like that. So Morata, Arsenal now apparently thrown into the mix, but not really too concerned with that because Morata would not choose, or I doubt he would choose Arsenal. You never know, but I doubt it. But they're apparently at 30 million. The threshold for Morata, I feel, is like 15 to 20, which is solid. I think you start going above that and you're starting to really, really grasp. But at 15 to 20, people are still saying no. And this Arsenal thing throws a bit of a kink in there because if he is at all interested and they do make that move for 30, it still takes the player's signature. So obviously Atletico would take the higher bid, but it takes the player's will too. So that's the saving grace for Juve too. But to say that, you don't want Morata now here, I'm looking at a team that is trying to get out of Moise Kean. And not only that, but Moise Kean has contributed nothing this season, like really nothing. So I have Moise Kean going. I have Chiesa that's still going to be injured probably going into the next season. I have Dybala leaving this team.
Bernardeschi.
And then you throw on the other guys. You have Bernardeschi leaving as well. You have Rabiot trying to be moved. You have potentially Arthur, possibly even McKennie. You have one of 2 midfielders that's going to go. I don't think it's going to be McKennie, but you never know. So you have 2 out of the middle that are going too. You have to at some point keep a little bit of familiarity within this club and not open up even more positions. So the way I'm looking this team's about like going into this Mercato, I see a lot of spots opening up and a lot of work to be done for Juventus. So it's just one less piece that you have to go after. He can play. Sure, is he a natural left winger? No, but he can play there, and he can also offer Vlahovic a little bit of a break and play up top there in a pinch when you need him. So I don't see the big deal in going 15-20, but we have a lot of outgoing, and you got to keep some familiarity. Guys, your thoughts on the Morata thing in terms of just letting him go as well?
So me being the big Morata guy, and then Eric's been bringing this up, alumni of the show. He's been bringing this up quite a bit on Twitter. A lot of people going out, not enough people coming in. So I agree. The 30 million is a lot for Morata because at that point, just buy a younger player for 25 to 30. But at 15 million, you lose nothing, right? You can see since Vlahovic came in, he's a different player for me, and I think that's sort of hard to argue with. Like he's been playing better. He's a secondary player. He's a secondary player to your main striker. But just look at the team sheet today. You have 4 midfielders on the roster. Like you can't survive 3 going after 3 cups without the depth. And there's just way too many players linked going out than coming back in. Like we just don't have that much money to spend on players coming in. And let's face facts. The way things are looking, Rabiot might be staying.
He might be.
People need to get ready that he's probably going to stay around one more year. He's always available. Now, listen, what you think of the player and how he plays, I'm going to put that aside. He's always available, and I could see them restructuring the contract like they're trying to do with other players. Because if he wants to stay, then I'm sure they'll restructure it. But people need to get ready that Morata and most likely Rabiot are going to stay.
Yeah, I just see way too many guys that we're trying to offload, and it doesn't make sense to open up even more work for you to do. Omer, your thoughts briefly on Morata as we're going to get to John Stewart's question, who it's a good question. That will play into.
Yeah, it's basically what you said. You can't lose in the span of 6 months. Kulusevski, Bernardeschi, Keane, Dybala, was Morata, and Bentancur is a midfielder. But I'm talking about like 5 attacking players, and just you have to balance your fantasies with what's real and what's possible in the span of 2 months of transfer market. You just can't fill all the spots. Like, I'm talking to people who tell me, yeah, they should sign this guy, this guy, and this guy, and it's all good. The 2 of these guys together worth like 150 million. Like, be realistic. You can't change every player on the roster who's not good with a world-class player. It just doesn't work that way, and you have to keep those rotational guys. Morata is one of them, and he's fine with it. That's why I don't like him that much personally, but if someone needs to leave, it's not him.
Yeah. When I look at this team again, I'm looking at what we're trying to do, the shift, how many players we potentially are going to move. Not only that, but just in general, like the positions we need to be aggressive in and bring in. It's definitely midfield. Left back, potentially center back are the top 3 priorities. And then you start going at supporting the guys up top and whatnot. But you're still going to need a winger eventually. Chiesa will come back, hopefully sooner rather than later. But this is another key point in the Cuadrado renewal, I think, because he is another attacking player that can play up there, and it's big for Juve. Now that extension came up naturally due to appearances, but they're still talking about, because Cuadrado wants that extra year, so he wants that season beyond. So we'll wait and see what develops there. They're still going to talk and whatnot, so we'll see. But that kind of plays into that as well. Now,
so
John,
one thing I wanted to add in that just really quick before we get to John's question is that Juventus is kind of like the all Juve cast team. You have a lot of young, vibrant, go-getter players, but you still need the old guys, right? You still need the old guys to kind of, right? You need the old guys to kind of settle things down a little bit, have a little bit of experience, a little bit of life lessons. We've cut our teeth on a lot of different situations, so it's good to have all the young players, bringing new people in, but you still need the old guys every once in a while.
I think the prime example was that episode where we found out live on air that Dybala was being let go, and you needed the old heads to just hey, Raph, take it easy. Raph.
Yeah. Go back and watch. I would advise people to go back and find that show at about the 18th minute. Yeah. Maybe we'll post it later. That's a good example.
The old guys had to steer the young lad back off the bridge. Hey, come on. Off the ledge. Let's go.
Come on.
So, John, his question, do you really think we'll be able to offload all these guys? So, in terms of who Juve wants to let go and whatnot, I'm starting to really question based on Allegri and how he sees the player. The one knock on Rabiot, there's a lot of knocks, but I'm saying in terms of looking at it through Juve's eyes, Max's eyes, is probably his salary is the one knock. But as far as his relationship with Allegri, it's like on lockdown right now, because that guy is every single time in the lineup. And I must say, I will give him credit because he's always available. He is always there, always available, and whatnot.
The only one.
He's the only one.
The 4-2-3-1. Like I was surprised at what I saw in a double pivot from Rabiot and Zakaria. It blew me away. Like, I did not see that happening. However, it was one match. Let's see a little bit more. But the thing is, I'm not 100% sold that Max and Juve might be moving Rabiot. That's just me when we talk about Rabiot. What do you guys think?
Fully agree.
Yeah,
Omer?
Yeah, it's a player that's not easy to replace. Like if you just when you shop for new players and you want to replace certain players, you do that by a few parameters. Sometimes you're looking for a leader and a seasoned guy with experience, and sometimes you just need to look at the numbers and what does the guy offer. Because Rabiot doesn't offer anything in attack, but has the most tackles and ball recoveries out of all the Juve midfield, and that's what you need to replace. That's the added value he gives to that midfield. And I'm looking at the names that are suggested, and I'm thinking, are they the ones to do that? Because we have a problem defending, and especially from the midfield. And Rabiot, at least that he does, and best in the team. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we can replace a player like that. We can, but we want the same salary. Today I saw that they want to replace him, head to head with Jorginho with Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I'm not all that sure it's the right move, honestly. It's not the same type of player. You're losing something here that is already a problem in the team.
It's gonna be interesting. So Rabiot, nobody's really sure of. Artur. When you look at Artur, I see a player that could be used in a swap deal. I don't see him being sold. He just stands the club far too much. Swap deals are in play. Otherwise, probably a loan. McKennie has a market. So while he's
the
not
biggest
a
one.
guy that we want to move, they might. It's if an offer is good enough, they might. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it shakes out. But I don't necessarily know. Sandro
He's still under
anybody
contract,
taking him?
right? He has one more year on his contract. So again, there's another player. I don't see him moving unless somebody comes in with an offer. Like he
There's
doesn't have to go anywhere.
rumblings of some interest, but again, I don't really know. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see on who moves out and whatnot. And of course, this will change things for a guy like Morata too on that front that we were just talking about. At 15 to 20, whatever, depending on who's outgoing, what they're trying to do, it could change things. But we'll wait and see what develops. Now, there's a question coming in here. Where was it here? There it is. Do you think we will get one of those three? Milinkovic, Savic, Pogba, Jorginho, and who do you prefer, Zaniolo, Raspadori for the winger position? So real quick, let's start with Anthony. Do you think we're going to get one of Savic, Pogba, or Jorginho?
I think Milinkovic Savic is the only, I think, realistic player that they're going after. But in order to get him, I think you'd most likely have to move McKennie because of the value that he would bring in to get that deal done. Because that's you're looking at another 65, 70 million to bring. I know people are saying it's 80. No, that deal would get done around between 60 and 70. But, you're going to have to move pieces to bring him in. And then if you do that, I think you're not going to get either Zaniolo or Raspadori. But if I had to choose between those two, I'm taking Zaniolo.
Okay. So Omer, these questions now to you.
Yeah, on Tuesday, Gazzetta said that Savic is the highest priority for Juve and for Allegri. On Wednesday, they said it's Pogba. On Thursday, they said it's Jorginho, the same newspaper. So take it all with a pinch of salt. I don't know if it's even realistic and they're publishing. Of course, Savic is the one I want. Hard to see Zaniolo moving this summer.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see him moving this summer yet. His value is too high for Juve or for Milan. But Raspadori was reported that Juve had a meeting scheduled with Sassuolo right after the game in a couple of weeks. Raspadori looks more likely to me. I don't think it affects the Savic move. Savic, Pogba, whoever.
So I'll ask a question then to jump on this. So Pogba and Jorginho was those two aren't happening. Do you think Juventus is getting one of those three? Milinkovic, Savic, Zaniolo, or Raspadori this summer?
Yes. That's what I think. I don't know, obviously.
Who's the most realistic? For me, the most realistic out of those three is Zaniolo.
Oh, wait, which three? Savic, Zaniolo, and Raspadori.
Yeah.
I think they'll get two of them. actually, and I think it's going to be Savic and Raspadori.
Interesting. Completely opposite of what I said.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why I'm here.
Al?
I think we're gonna get one of those three.
Just the one.
I think right now Juve hasn't gone hotter on players' will for Milinkovic Savic, and that's another factor. Is like that is Juve's game now. That is their MO, and we've seen it with Arrivabene and Cherubini real quick here. They haven't been around long, but it's players' will, and honestly, if we can lock that in with Milinkovic Savic, that kind of throws the Lotito thing out the window because he's going to have to. He's going to have to. So whether he likes to or doesn't, he's going to have to do something to, accommodate that. So otherwise, what's he going to do? Wait it out and get absolutely nothing. So the time's come if we get the players' will. But I think Juventus is waiting because I truly do believe that offer is in hand to Paul Pogba. So I truly do believe Juve is waiting, and I believe in what Paolo Nomola was saying, that Pogba right now is pulling the strings on all the teams that have shown interest, and he hasn't really given any insight into that next move, and nobody really knows yet. And I truly do believe that. In my personal opinion, I would probably just say, hey, thanks, but no thanks, Paul. And I would go all in on trying to bring Milinkovic Savic to Juve if it were me.
And look, I think the management is just no nonsense management. Everything they said so far happened. They said they'll get to renewals when the time is due later.
Yeah.
And in the past week, you got all the renewals were sorted out, basically. Bernardeschi, Dybala, and Perin, Cuadrado, and De Sciglio. And we know what's the destination for all these players at the moment. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're playing. If they don't want Pogba for 15 million, they won't get him for 15 million, period.
And based on the January market, I know this summer we're gonna be doing shows throughout the summer based on what's happening in the market. But I really believe Juventus is gonna do the same thing they did in January. Just kind of, you kind of ride it slow for the first 3 quarters of the market, and then they're going to go all in at the end. Let the market kind of settle a little bit. And I don't think it's going to be all gung ho right at the start. I think they're going to be patient, and they're going to see how the chips fall with other players, and then they're going to go hard after who they want. Yeah, but I think they have a lot of pokers in the fire for sure.
In terms of who I would prefer, Zaniolo or Raspadori, I would prefer Zaniolo if out of those two players, my personal preference. Now, Georg thrown in plot twist. I predict Pogba will stay at United.
That's fine.
I know he won't.
You know he won't.
Yeah, I have some
sources.
A source close to us. We know him, but he works at the big company who basically renovates and builds houses and their branch in Manchester is folding Pogba's house.
That's
what he told me. So he's leaving United.
You heard it here first.
There you go. You heard it here. Now, thank you, Martin, for the donation. Much appreciated. And he is saying, who was the one that said Villarreal is a bad team?
This guy. They stink. Are we being serious right now? Villarreal parks the bus. They stink. Don't even get me started. Martin, by the way, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. You are totally incorrect.
Hey, let's get the shots in. I like it. I like getting the shots in there. It's good. Adds to it. Now, let's get to this Modric thing that popped up and obviously debunked and whatnot. But I thought the hypothetical was interesting because I was like very much so in the minority. I love Modric. I think he's a great midfielder. He's a baller. At 36 years old, though, if our team was a bit more established and a bit closer to being that triple threat contender, I would say that's when you take a flyer like this. I'm not so sold that this guy makes such an impact that it's worth the short-term one-way move. I'm not sure we're there at this point. Not only that, I look at this roster and I see too many players that have little to no value to bring in another one-way deal that he would be here till 38, and then that's it. You just see him out the door, whether it's $6 million you're paying him or not. I don't see the point in that to the project as a whole, the improvement that's going to be made. Obviously, he's miles ahead of everyone we have in the middle of the pitch, but does the team make that big of a jump that it's worth this 2 years? I'm not so sure. I do. And that's all I was saying. But I was at like 32%, and the rest were, Modric, 2 years and whatnot. And I want to get your guys' thoughts, because I look at this roster. I see Chiellini's about to go. We have Sandro we can't do anything with. You have Bonucci, who's going to just see it out till the end. You have Quadrado, who's just going to see it out till the end.
Danilo's not a spring chicken.
You have a lot of guys on a 23-man team. We're talking about Artur, who's younger, that we're probably stuck with because of what he's in there. I just don't see it being a move that makes sense financially, long-term, and in the project. But
Omer.
That's just me. You guys. I know Omer was big for it, so maybe let's let Omer fire up here.
Yeah, I'm all for it. You need to watch this guy play, and don't look at the age or the numbers. Just need to watch him play. First of all, he's a big game player. Every time it matters, he shows up. He dragged at 33. He dragged the Croatian national team to the World Cup final. He's just the type of character we absolutely need in midfield, and a lot of players can benefit from it. Like if you want Locatelli and McKennie to improve their attacking game, this is exactly what we want them, the way we want them to play. He brings in experience, it brings in ball control, midfield control, never die attitude. And it might give you a bit of a breathing room to deal with other issues, other areas of the field for one more year, and then you can postpone like buying a top class midfielder to January or next summer. And you just need to watch him play. It doesn't look like he's 36. It doesn't look like he's old. He's full of energy, full of power. It's not the same with Ronaldo. Another Ronaldo deal? No, absolutely not. Paying 100 million for a 30-plus player and 4-year contract, 30 million a year. That's ridiculous.
So
but if he's out of contract,
not the same financially, but for me, the same in terms of impact. Because yes, he's going to be good. Is he going to help the young guys? Sure, but ultimately, I still see us taking in a guy, cutting away from other guys' opportunities to just continue to build on their own. For what? For 1 to 2 years, but we're not there. He would be a cherry on the top, like I said, where you take a flyer if you're like right there knocking on the door. Right now, I don't know. Anth?
I'm always willing to change my viewpoints on things when presented with proper information. Sometimes I'm not. But here, Omer brings up a good point. The experience that he would bring in for the younger players, because we don't have that in midfield. We don't have those older players in the middle who can, pass down their knowledge to the younger players. We have it on defense. Look at what Bonucci and Chiellini did for De Ligt. Even though De Ligt was already, in our eyes, sort of on that level, that world-class level, we're going to be. It can't be understated what playing with Chiellini and Bonucci have done for him. So Omer does bring up a good point. I just think in the whole picture, like that's good for that one position. I know Omer's going to say it's an important position, and it's hard to argue with that. But to Al's point, I'm going to have to sort of sway to Al's point that on the whole picture, I think bringing in more youth to get them integrated into the lineup, I think that's the way this team wants to go. So I just don't see it. And financially, I just don't see it fitting. But you're right. If this was 2 years down the road, 100% pull the deal.
Yeah, I think just a little more established on a team sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'll just add,
no question. I love Modric. I think he's a baller. I just don't think right now is I don't know. I don't know.
I have 2 points about it. First of all, look what playing next to Pirlo did to Marquisio, and no one wanted Pirlo. How it elevated his game as a player, and they needed that sort of leader in the middle. We didn't have that. And right now you have a bunch of 23, 24-year-olds. Look how Mandzukic improved Dybala when he was a youngster and he was a veteran. These type of things help players develop. And Modric is an absolute different character to Ronaldo. He's never injured. He's always available.
He hasn't been to Juventus training, though. You can't say that until he actually gets there.
Yeah.
He's never been injured.
Actually,
Juve training.
I'll add an interesting point to that. Some knowledge. There's a fitness coach called Jorge Pintos. Is the GOAT of coaching. He was the fitness coach at Juve in the 90s when they made it to 3 straight finals. He was the fitness coach for Real Madrid when they won 3 Champions League in a row, and for Antonio Conte's Inter when they won Champions League, and they barely had any injuries. He's a massive game changer in the dressing room. Right now he's at Real Madrid. That's why they can make it all the way to the final stages of the season, keeping most of the players healthy and fit. So remember the name, Jorge Pintos. He might come to Juve at some point. I hope he does. But yeah, Modric is never injured. He's always available. He has experience. He doesn't play like he's 36. And people give more credit to youngsters who never did anything than to veterans who did it all. I just inclined to give Modric a lot more props than I'd give to Pogba.
Hey, anybody who's over 36 and still playing, full credit.
Yeah.
'Cause I would play, if I got out there, I'd play my age and I'd break
This
down like a
fitness
57
coach,
Chevy.
that might be the biggest signing of the summer. Let's get this guy. Like, that's what we need. We need these guys
Absolutely.
to stay fit, carry on.
Absolutely.
But it's like I said, I was in the minority. I don't see right now. I get the Pirlo thing too. And I still see a team back then, 2011, 12, that's completely different scenarios, circumstances and whatnot. And I get it. I could see why.
Mhm.
There's no doubt why anybody would want Modric to come in. I'm just not I don't think it'd be something we needed to chase by all means. If it happened, sure. But I think overall, we still continue to battle this thing where you have young guys. Everybody wants these young guys to do better, but we almost have this hesitation in allowing them to gain that experience. Let's take some knocks, but let's be patient. I think the biggest thing everybody needs to do is be patient. Let these guys grow, let these guys develop. And if you don't have the old guys around, you don't have that general in the midfield, it's not to say that it can't work or these guys can't pick it up. It could still work. And we have a lot of guys, up in the works that we don't know what's going to shape up or how it can work. But I think you make one big splash in the middle, the right character. And I think this Juve side's not that far off. Do we want to go with a 2-man pivot? Do we want to go 3 in the middle? I still don't even know what we're trying to go with there. So let's trust Max. Let's trust the management and whatnot. But I think it's time to get away from this. These guys don't have experience. You need experience, but you're unwilling to give them the experience because the only way you're going to get that experience is to play. So I don't know. That's just how I'm starting to see things. Now, let's move on. Contract extensions. Perin out of nowhere, guys. This one still blows me away.
Yep.
Awesome extension to 2025. Perin. This gives you freedom and flexibility to sort things out with Szczesny, whether you see Szczesny signing on beyond that or you see Szczesny moving on. This gives you really, really comfortable feeling and flexibility to look beyond. Awesome hearing Perin's words through Instagram, obviously, and him basically admitting he changed his mind because he realized that Juve is the place he needs to be, and he's challenged daily. And this is the backup goalkeeper talking. I thought for sure this guy could take minutes, and there would be a plethora of teams that could use Perin to step in and be their starter across Serie A, and he chooses to stay and be a part of Juve. This was one that caught me off guard. Your guys' thoughts on the Perin extension?
Wild. Well, beginning of the year, Al, you and I said, okay, we're going to have to figure out, the Donnarumma thing, Tech. We're going to need a backup for Tech at the end of the year because Perin's going to be gone. complete 180. I think it's fantastic. I am a little confused or trying to figure out what they said to him in order to make him sign the contract. I know they're saying he said all the right words. It was a perfect response on Instagram. He said all the right things. He not bringing drama to it. I realized I should be here. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think Tech's going to be here after 2023. I think that's what this lines up for them to either promote Perin and bring in someone maybe from the youth squad, or they have their eyes on a younger goalkeeper. But I think Al, you and I I don't know about Omer, but you and I were big Tech guys. I think he's deserving of the number one spot at Juventus, but this totally plays into him not being renewed because he does have a big salary. So I think this is just the way the team's going, trying to get rid of those big salaries. They see Perin, former national backup goalie, starting goalie for our national team. He can still do it. He's still fairly young, right? He's not very old, so he's still got a lot of gas in the tank.
Yeah, Omer.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Like some players prefer playing regularly and challenging for 12 spot, 13 spot, or battling relegation with Genoa, and some players prefer to be second string goalkeeper but playing at the highest level. Then one Tech injury and he's suddenly starting UCL games, something that will never happen with all the teams that are chasing him, and he prefers that. I think he has the right mentality. I think some of Juve's power during that 9-year run was our second goalkeeper, was always up to standard. It was Buffon or Storari or whoever. And he's a great addition. It's one less thing to worry about. He also decreased his salary, which is far more amazing to me than just staying. He agreed to stay for a lesser salary and be a second string goalkeeper. That says something. His career, you only get one shot at playing at these levels at his age and at his position, and I think he made the right call. I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely, all for it. That one was a beauty to see. Now, real quick before we get to the trivia, of course, Badashiel coming out and Paulo Nomolo dropping this little tidbit as he did back in May 2021, saying that this was a player that is on Juve's radar. So Benoit Badashiel, Monaco center back, left-footed. Haven't seen a lot of them, just a bit, but physical player, like physical defender, decent on ball, big kid, good prospect, as a lot of Monaco players are. Monaco, remember when Monaco was linked? Their actual sporting director was linked with Juve, and everybody was gung-ho because he does incredible work, and it's not a bad club to be looking at for prospects and whatnot, but Benoit Badashiel creeping up on one, and this is said to be one that they could really be looking at because of the financials that Rudiger would stand. And Rudiger, though, apparently this does not rule Juve out of the Rudiger race, but it seems to be a boat that's sailing away pretty quickly, I think, when you start to look at the numbers and what's going on and what Rudiger's vying for. And Benoit Badashiel, that's an exciting one. So we should be pretty pumped up if that's kind of like an alternative or whatnot, for sure. We still have Gatti too. Nobody really knows if Gatti's going to be used as a mix for Bremer. The thing with Bremer, though, is might be Inter-bound. So let's wait and see. But Badashiel, Ant, have you seen any of Badashiel?
No, but like I said earlier, where you have, us old guys kind of evening out the younger folk on the All Juve cast. The younger folk in the All Juve cast, especially Raph, was all for this deal. So if he's hyped up about it, I'll jump on the Raph train for this player, 100%.
There you go. Omer, Benoit Badashiel.
Yeah, I gotta say I haven't seen too much of him, but that's exactly the type of deals Juve used to do: get a player out of France or whatever and turn them into world-class players. The cost might be much lower than any other options we heard about. He's 6.3 feet. the guy, I don't know. I haven't seen him too much.
You
to
just
have
you
an
just can't do
opinion.
metric, eh, Omer? You just cannot do metric.
I don't know. I checked on Google, but
6'3",
I have no
man.
idea.
6'3".
6'3", 194 centimeters. Okay.
Look at this guy,
Um,
Peter. It's 11:30 p.m.
Walk
Child
safe.
free, drunk walking home. What a lovely surprise to see you, Jets Online. Peter, my man, have a safe
Oh,
walk
yeah.
home.
Yeah,
Make sure you
walk
get there,
safe,
okay?
man.
And
Stop
keep
at
it
all the
down.
stoplights, you big douche.
Yeah.
and
There you
throw
go.
up,
Let's
throw up
go.
outside.
Death clutch. Where have you been? Let's go.
Oh, he's been
Okay.
here. He's been here
We're
when you
talking
were
Benoit
absent.
Badiashile. Pretty exciting we'll have to take the young guy's words. I've seen a bit of him though, like his chops and whatnot, but haven't seen enough to be on Raph's level of hype. But let's trust Raph. Let's trust Raph on this one. Now, let's go. Let's get into it. Real quick reminder to everybody, like the video while you're here. Okay, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Okay, it's your one-stop shop for everything Juve. Reminder, check out stripedheartsapparel.com. And they just dropped this little ditty celebrating, of course, the best team in Italy and the first ever to capture the 3 major UEFA trophies. Okay, so there it is. Il primo vero tripleta. Okay, there you go. Available in black, gray, and white. Check out stripedheartsapparel.com now. Trivia time. Omar and Anthony are going to try to take on all of you. Okay.
Look who's in the chat.
Antonio. Look at this guy. What a lovely profile to stitch. Okay. I love it.
Wonderful.
I love it. Amazing. All looking very sharp, my man. Been too long. Very, very happy to see this man around. Now, let's go. Trivia time. Trivia time.
Come on. I was having such a good day, too.
What rank in terms of how many times these teams have faced each other do they stand? So what that means is basically
No idea.
Yeah, I understand.
out of how many times they've played in fixtures, what is the rank? Is it the top team Juve has played in terms of matches? Are they 5th or the 7th?
Well, I did this on trivia.
Yeah, we
Who were
had
the
like
top-
the 12.
The top
12,
10. Bologna is in there. Bologna's
I'll go with like.
I want to let
Number-
Rakan know that I will get to your question. I see it there. I will get to it.
I'm gonna go with 8.
yeah, I'm gonna say 9th.
8th and 9th. We have Animesh with 8th. We have Georg coming in with
9th.
6th. John Stewart throws a 7 out there.
Yeah, John might be right. I was either 7 or I'm gonna go with 9th. I already said it. I already put it in. God damn it.
There is no points given out on this one. 4th.
Wow.
But do we
that's
want to take a
surprising.
guess at how many matches that is?
Oh, that's a lot. I don't know. First are probably Inter and Milan. We have like almost 200 with these guys. I'll go with like 150, 150.
163.
163, 150. Let's wait for a couple of the live chaps to get in there.
I don't even
See
know how
if they
Peter's
can
typing
take a
these in.
stab here.
Peter, walk safe, bud. We don't need you walking into like a street pole or something. Type in.
145 from Georg, 136 from Luca. It's actually 173 from Michael Lloyd. It's 185.
Oh,
That's a lot.
185. Ooh, Soiree throwing out a 180. Half point to the live? Half point to the live. Half point to the live.
No, give
Now-
them the point.
185 matches. How many wins for Juventus?
I'll go with 96.
96 from Omer.
That's a good number. 180. What was the number?
185 total matches.
I'll go 80. Would you say 90? I'll say 89.
178 from Death Clutch.
89.
89. 105 from Georg. 178 from Death Clutch.
That's a
120.
lot.
112. 84 from Luca.
89. 89 is the number.
It is 92.
Whoa.
92. Price is Right rules puts Anthony. at
That's
that
right.
point.
Sorry, Omer. Unless it's
No, it's good.
Israeli.
We're together.
Unless it's Israeli
No.
Price is Right rules.
One
which I
for
don't know
the
what that is.
live.
No, I don't want to know the prices
Half
here.
point for the live chat. Okay, so 1 point for the panel, half point there. Now, in the last match, Who scored for Juventus in their 2-0 victory?
What did I have for breakfast today?
Bologna,
what was the score?
Bologna.
It was
2-0.
2-0 victory for Juve. Who were the goal scorers?
Can you give me a month? Can you give me when it was?
I can tell you it was 2021.
Thank you. That makes no difference to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna say. I'm trying not to look at the comments here. Let me just close the comments. I'm
No,
gonna
I'm not looking
say
at the
Throwing out
comments.
McKennie and Artur.
Artur.
Artur didn't score this season.
I don't think he's on his end.
CR7 and McKennie.
Oh god. Okay, Jeremiah, wrong year.
Was it the game before CR7 left?
No, it was.
No.
It was.
I'm gonna go
Udinese.
with McKennie and Morata.
I'll say.
It's so amazing what just took place here. So amazing. So amazing. We just got to give this guy the points. Okay. This man is hammered walking home at 11:30 p.m. and he nails it on the button.
Come on.
Murata and Quad.
I don't even remember the game.
Peter
And he spoke-
Dalsbury,
he
give him
spoke-
the live a point. So 1.5 for the live chat, 1 for the panel. Amazing stuff, Peter.
It's a half
Okay.
point because he spelled quad wrong.
When is the
Doesn't count.
when is the last time Bologna beat Juventus?
The last time.
Juventus. Man, I don't
Just a
even know.
random 20.
That's how Aussies spell it. He says that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like 20. Was it 2022? I say 2017. You said 16, Omer.
I said 2015-16 season.
I'll say
We
16, 17.
We had that bad stretch in the beginning of the season. Maybe it happened there.
Yeah, I don't remember it happened under Pirlo or Sarri. I'm gonna say 2016, 17. 2011.
20. The live point taking the lead.
Ooh.
2011.
It's been 11 years.
2011 is the last time Bologna beat Juventus.
There has to be a bunch of draws in there because the
It
draw
was a
today is
2-0
plus
victory.
410. I might take a draw today.
How many wins for Juventus in the last 10 matches against Bologna?
I'm gonna go with
7.
7. Yeah, the panel is going with 7.
Let's see.
Al, I don't like that smile. I changed my answer. to
You're
5.
coming in with 8. 20 from Peter. Now the drinks are kicking in.
Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
starting to roll in. Yeah.
9, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. Dells
Dell says they stink. I'm
nailed
going
it.
with 10.
10.
Come on.
10
10
out of
wins
Come
out of the
on.
last 10 matches. They're-
Bravo.
We might have a runaway on our hands here. We got to get it back. Top goal scorer in the history of this fixture. 185 matches.
Del Piero.
Del Piero. Yeah, we're just gonna go with Del.
No.
Betega.
No.
Sivori.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of the, I was gonna say the exact same names in the exact same order.
But how many goals? So now we
14.
know Sivori is the leader. How many goals? Everybody gets one crack at how many goals. This could decide the winner.
13.
I'm gonna go with 13's a lot. I'm not okay. Damn, Peter came in with 12. I'm gonna go with 12 is my number. I'm gonna go with 11. 11. Man, I think it's 12. 11 and 13. We're gonna bracket this.
So 11 and 13. We have
Yeah.
11, 12 out of the live, 8, 12, 7, 9. Ooh.
9 is a good answer.
So I have a question. Do we want to do prices right and just keep it at the prices right rules?
Just what's the number and we'll decide later. You tell us the number and then we'll decide.
It's 10. It's 10.
Yeah, no,
And
I'm
we did
closer.
Price is Right earlier, so by Price is Right rules, Animesh gets the final point for the live chat, and the live chat has edged it out and won. Well done.
I'm
Well
not
done
clapping.
to the
Bravo.
live chat. Fantastic job.
I'm not
Now,
clapping for that.
crazy though, eh? Last 10. 10 victories for Juventus. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go.
That's why I'm taking the draw today.
Oh.
Like as an official bet with money, I have a different prediction for this show. But when it comes that when you got money on it,
Luca's such a stickler, man. Jesus, Luca, come
go
on.
back to bed.
You're too young to be this much of a stickler, my man. Come
He's
on.
Quebecois. They got that. edge to him.
Okay. 10 wins out of 10. Potential starting lineup for Juventus. Szczesny in goal. De Sciglio, De Ligt, Chiellini, Pellegrini, Quadrado, Danilo, Rabiot, Dybala, Vlahovic, Morata. So, two-man pivot with Danilo and Rabiot? Is that what we're seeing?
I think that's the only way we can play. Yeah.
Make that 3-5-2 with using De Sciglio as the other third center back and having Pellegrini and Quadrado as the wing backs?
I'm kind of
Dybala
between
in the
those two.
hole ahead of Danilo and Rabiot?
Maybe.
Also,
Who
yeah.
knows?
No,
Who
that's
knows?
from Max's head.
All I know is
We'll find out.
it's got to be 3 points, baby. Got to get that win. But
Yep.
that's a potential lineup going into this one. Okay. Bologna, 1 win out of their last 5. Juve, 4 wins out of their last 5. Obviously, the blemish was that madness that took place against the Snakes. Don't want to talk about that one. That was frustrating, but a great match played by Juventus. Then you had the follow-up to that one where not as pleasing performance-wise, but this one, getting into this one, based on Bologna, where they stand, Juventus, one of the most informed teams of 2022. Okay, I think we're just ahead in terms of most points. Slightly ahead since 2022. So
maybe Inter might have jumped us over that with that win, but yeah.
Yeah, one of the most informed sides. This one, you have Bologna, who is 13th in the table. Like I said, in their last 5, not really showing a whole bunch. And in the last 10, historically, Juve, everything's pointing to a Juve victory. What are we feeling? I think Juve is going to win this one. And I feel pretty good about it going in. This lineup, any thoughts on this lineup? Like, Miretti is on the team sheet. Would you guys start him?
Okay, we have this is the, as we like to say in Canada, this week is the TSN turning point. This is the week where we have Napoli, Rome tomorrow, and we're 5 points up on Rome. I know some people are going to say, I know some of my brothers, they're like, this thing is locked in. Listen, need the win today because Rome most likely will. I think they'll drop points against Napoli tomorrow. After this weekend, you have 5 games to go, and you'll be 6 to 8 points up on Rome. Need the win. Moretti's not going to get you a win today. He stays his ass on the bench. You got to go with your older players, your informed players. Can't, and I know some people want to see the young players play. The 18-year-old isn't going to do it today. Bologna is the opposite to us what Atalanta is. Atalanta's our boogeyman. We always kind of struggle with, this is a win, got to lock in the win, play your players who know the team, get the 3 points, play him next week.
Omer.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a win. There are teams, like Ant said, like they can play like shit, but when they come to face Juve, they're suddenly prime Barcelona. It's not Bologna. Bologna always look bad. Their team is very unbalanced in the way they play. It should be a win. It has to be a win.
Has to be.
And no Miretti. Whether I would like him to play or not doesn't matter. Max won't play him at this end of the season.
What's going on with Luca? What the hell's going on in Quebec here, Max?
Block him. I know he's part of the team. You got to block him.
Alex B, hashtag Moretti in. Alex B, Moretti Hive. Are we starting up a new hive? We starting up a new hive?
I'm trying to
Holy.
figure out the other one.
And these guys
Omer,
don't
would
deserve
you-
hypes.
Do you share the same sentiments as Ant in terms of Moretti playing in this one?
Yeah, absolutely. If he hasn't played him so far, you want, just bet on him on this random game that there's a lot of stake. I think Roma are going to beat Napoli or draw, which is sort of better for us, maybe. We can jump above Napoli. It's more realistic than Inter or Milan. No, I wouldn't play Moretti, not from the start at least.
I just don't get how people think an 18-year-old who hasn't played is like all of a sudden going to come in and light it up. Like he's not Pedri for Barcelona. They're not the same. Like he lights it up against other 19-year-olds. I think I said this on the other show. Just because he's good against 19-year-olds or 23-year-olds doesn't mean he's going to be good against grown-ass men. Like let's put him on the bench. If we have time to put him, we'll put him. Like he's not our saving grace. Let's see.
He could be, but would you roll the dice on it?
No, not today.
We're fourth place and can possibly lose Champions League.
No,
Max
wouldn't do it
for me.
Come on. Okay,
Al. Come on.
Here's the thing. Would I start Moretti today? No. Would I have this fear against Bologna? No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't start him. That said, we have no natural midfielders other than Rabiot on the pitch, though. Danilo has filled in before, and he's done admirably. Can he do it again? Sure. The thing is, now I think what we're more speaking to, and this is, I'll change the question, and I want to change it to the live because you do have some people that, I saw the comment earlier, if he's unwilling to give Moretti, a fair amount of minutes in this game, we should just send him back to U23 so that he can play his minutes. Let's change the question. Based on where we stand right now and we are in terms of the season, are we at a point where we can no longer offer the young guys the minutes because everything's too crucial?
So I'll start with that one. I'm going to answer this one first. Deserve has nothing to do with sports. Nothing, right? Flipping into the question you just asked, Max,
are we saying we are beyond the point of giving these young guys a minute?
We're not at the point where we can give them minutes because nothing's locked up. And remember, Max is paid to do a job. He's looking out for himself too. Like don't forget that he has his own, welfare to look after. Like it's his job, and his job is to bring results, which is top four. So he's going to do whatever he's supposed to do to keep his job. And his job is in jeopardy if he starts Moretti or gives these youngsters extra minutes because they're an unknown. They're still an unknown when it comes to playing in the Serie A. They're a known when it comes to playing 19-year-olds, but they're not you can say, well, he hasn't played them consistently, but we haven't had the opportunity to play them consistently this year. We've been fighting and clawing and 14th to 7th to fourth place. We can't get them in. And I think we need 2 more wins. And then once we lock it up, sure, let them play. But until then, like Sule, what about Sule? Same answer.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing.
It.
We're talking about this season, okay? There's a lot of Juventus. There's a lot of people going back to the way we started this season and potentially being what killed us. That's at the start of a season. So are we going to go into next season and say, hey, remember last season when that beginning killed us and not play the young guys even at the start if a guy's willing to play? So what I'm saying is, what my point is, when is it the right time? Is it a competition? Is it like, okay, these guys are only going to be due to Copa? For me, there's never really a good time. You have to go with the situation, the player's ability, and you have to either shit or get off the pot because we're doing no favors to these guys. You either got to find out what you have, and he either has it and he can cut it, or he can't. But all these games are important. Every single game is important in a 38 game schedule. And this season is living proof of that. And are we going to say, well, next season, well, remember that opening 4 games of last year cost us the Scudetto? We can't play these guys. I don't know. At some point, you're injury riddled. You've got one natural center midfielder in the pitch. It's Bologna. It just, at some point, when are we gonna give up this fear and this thing and just say, you know what? Yeah, this guy's good enough. Let's see. And if it doesn't work out, okay, you know what? Yeah, he wasn't good enough, and you make the change. Or do you go? It could happen vice versa. Maybe this Danilo thing doesn't work today, and you need an actual midfielder.
To your point, I'll just add one thing. To your point, if there was ever a game to get him in, it's this one, because you only have 4 midfielders on the roster.
Exactly.
If the scenario was to ever work out to get the young players in, today's the day. I still don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I actually think that a lot of people just want to see youngsters at any cost, with not a lot of logic behind it. Like the first part of the season, it was all play Sule, then it was just play Ake, now it's all play Miretti, and it's all in the same season, but these aren't the type of youngsters we're playing. Vlahovic is a youngster we're playing. De Ligt is a youngster we're playing. Chiesa was. And to Al's point, if we can look back to last season, where Pirlo did give a shot to all these youngsters, Fabora and Raffia, and where are they all now and what are they doing? Like, are they up to the level? I agree that they do need to get a chance, but the way this season has evolved, now is not the time to take bets. Sorry, but we have to go with what we have at the moment. And like it or not, it did get us to where we are. When we started, when December rolled around, we weren't even in the Scudetto race by any means, and everyone was questioning Champions League football. It's the same case. It's just the same case. There needs to be logic behind it, and there is logic. It's just not starting him. Fine, if we're 2-0 up at the 60th minute, throw him in. He can play.
But you're not even getting that. That's the thing. That's the thing, is we're not even getting
the flip
that.
side of
So
it.
This fear is not something that people are building off base of not starting players. Everybody
With that, I agree.
Everybody can come to that logical thing. But the thing is, the starts do come into play when you have a team that's been injury riddled almost a season's entirety. And you still have this unwillingness. I agree to Anthony's point. The leagues are completely different. So if a player's lighting it up on one side, we're seeing that with Fagioli, because there's a shit ton of calls saying, hey, Fagioli's ready, send him through Serie A, like, let's go with Juve. I'm not there yet. But this is why you have to look at the players involved and just exactly what's happening. Miretti, yes, he does well there, but he's like miles ahead there in terms of the other prospects and stuff there. Does he warrant a start? Maybe not. In a team that's injury riddled, that's starting to go out of position, I think it's a closer debate when you have guys not in their natural positions. That's what I'm saying. And that might be signs of a little bit of hesitancy still to trust these guys. But
if there's ever a scenario, it's today.
Yeah, like I think if there's ever a time, like these are kind of your times, your Coppa Italias, whatever, But when you're not getting that, I could see the frustration build up, especially when you have guys that are not just young guys that are part of your U23. They're like really, really doing well and strong and clearly ahead of the others involved. The Sule argument was in terms of the same thing when you needed an attacking player out on the wing based on injury, and you called him up and you only put him out there with 10 seconds left in 2 matches.
Valuable
like a minute in one and 10 in one. What is the point?
Valuable
point?
Experience.
So
I just don't want to start youngsters.
If you're comfortable with playing these guys when a game is in hand, if that's how you want to get them their minutes, get them their experience, then you still have to do that. But the argument then becomes, well, this game was not put away or anything. Like, it's got to be one or the other or something. I just think it could be balanced a little bit better. The guys that we have that are in the lineup, Vlahovic, De Ligt, Chiesa, like we know these guys are going to be playing, and it's just, the question becomes, are we going to be able to maximize the great work Cherubini has done with the U23s? That's more of the question I'm asking, because we could sit here all day in terms of starting guys. In the long run, we all are on the same page as far as starting the young guys and where they're going and what we're doing. But in terms of the U23 project that he's doing incredible, are we going to be able to maximize what he's done, in your honest opinion?
Let's see. We have a lot of players marked to go out this summer. Cherubini's deal might be with the club, with Allegri, to say, hey, listen, we have all these players going out. We're going to have to bring Moretti or Sule and Fagioli in, and they're going to be part of your lineup next year. We don't know, because I think, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of players going out, not enough coming in. They may be part of the team next year. They may be part of the plans. We don't know. They're definitely not. It doesn't look like it this year based on how much they're playing, but they could be part of the plans.
I just don't want to play them just for the sake of playing a young guy from the U23. It has to have some sort of logic behind. I'm still all for playing Sule. From the start of the season to this point, it didn't change my mind. I don't think Miretti or Ake are better than him. From what I've seen, I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But there needs to be some sort of logic behind it. And these guys aren't even youngsters. They're kids. It's different. De Ligt at 21 was a youngster. Miretti is not yet. He was experienced.
I don't think
he was experienced in other places.
As this guy, as a comparison, De Ligt as a kid was already logging with Ajax senior team.
With a team who's known for playing youngsters and giving them a chance. And he was the captain, and he dragged them all the way to Champions League semifinals. That's an experienced youngster, not someone who played in Serie C and did well there. That's still a kid who needs to play. It also depends on the player you're playing with. Are we going to get the best out of Miretti with Rabiot next to him, or with, let's say, a Modric next to him? Okay, because the experienced guys don't do that much.
That kind of goes to Jeremiah's point. Like, you can make these comparisons, but Pedri is he's a different talent, right? Like, you can't say Moretti is Pedri. Moretti is Pedri. You can't say that. And Reece James stinks, but look at the team around him. Trent Alexander. Come on.
Here's the thing, though.
Look at the team around him.
And if you're saying, and I agree with you, okay, I agree with you in the sense that, well, he's doing well here in this league, which is miles different, whatever. How the hell are you going to know if he can do it in the other one if they're not even getting a chance? Not even for 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
That's the flip side. That's the flip side. Right?
That's the flip side. Yeah. So it's just the balance. But in terms of the question, and cut out these generational players. Like, we can't, just cut out the generational players. In your honest opinion, do you see Juventus as being able to maximize what Cherubini has done? Omer, do you think Juventus will be able to maximize the work that Cherubini has put together in the youth project?
I actually don't know. I assume there's some sort of connection there between him and Max, and they are talking about it. And, I assume they agree. They agree on the subject to some degree. I don't think just, they're investing money and Allegri does what he likes and doesn't consider anything at all. There are talks between them about it, I'm sure. I think we can. I think Max will probably know how to do it when the time comes. He had his chances to play youth this season. He didn't take them. Why? I don't know. Have no idea. It was frustrating and annoying. I wanted to see more youth playing. Having said that, we're still where we are and inside the. If we did give the chance to actually, we could have been having a whole different conversation about how it ruined the team and we're out of the Champions League race and everything. It could go both ways. So it's only assumptions at that point. No one has any idea or knows what to do. And
that was my point that Luca tried to shoot down, but you got to get up earlier to do that with me, Luca. You don't know the conversations that are being had, to Omer's point, between Cherubini and Max, because Cherubini might be saying behind the scenes to Riva Ben and Max and to Nedved and Agnelli saying, look at what I built down here. Look at the pipeline that we potentially have coming through. You're telling me that you just want to get rid of these guys? These guys have to get first team play. That could be happening. We don't know. I'd be surprised if it isn't.
I think, we all, for the most part, agree in terms of what's gone on, how they've kind of been dealing with guys and finding those moments, finding those opportunities to play them. I think if we're just taking this season for what it is, I think there was opportunities where we missed. I think there was opportunities we had and we 100% missed them. That would have given us more of a glimpse to see a little bit more depth to what we have in some of these guys. I think Sule 100% is one of them. I think as of late, you could maybe put Miretti in there, but Sule, I think earlier on was a bit higher. And it's fine. If he's not there and everybody can just say, I told you so, he's not good enough, that's fine. But at least you find out a little bit more. And it's not just a dead end. But then the player knows, and then the player can work up to it even more. Because at the end of the day, and again, we don't know the conversations that are being said behind closed doors and whatnot, what's going on. And obviously, Max trains with the team every day and whatnot. But it's very, very interesting seeing everybody's thoughts on the young guys and whatnot. Now, back to the whole thing. It's amazing how we got into this from just one lineup projection, but that's how it goes. Juventus, that's our lineup. We have the game. It's time to drop the predictions as we get ready for this one, which has to be 3 points. And Omar says, oh, yeah, that's a win. I'm with Omar. It's going to be a win. Anth is thinking draw, and he likes that draw based on the 10 wins out of the last 10.
When there's money on it,
it's
a draw. When it's we'll see.
We need somebody from the live, so start dropping them in here if you want to take part in the prediction challenge, as we're going to get into it right now. So let's scroll through here. We had a couple winners actually winning some sticker packages from Striped Hearts Apparel. Let's see. We had Arash is already jumping in there.
I don't know if we had Swarit have it once.
The new kit, the fourth kit, by the way. Hey,
I like it.
On the fourth kit.
I like it. I think it's better than the yellow one.
Al, you remember I told you 1 year ago that it's going to drop? 1 year ago. So when I tell you that Pogba is not living, I think it looks like shit. But to my point, I don't care. I really don't care. I want them to play good. I don't care what they wear. They can wear the Borat swimsuit. I really don't care what they're wearing as long as they play good football.
There you go. Dells, if you're still kicking around, jump in this prediction challenge, okay? We're getting Dells in here.
All right.
So, where should we kick it off? Possession split? Let's go possession split.
Anthony, with 5 midfielders, I'm going 55-45.
55-45.
Mm-hmm.
Juve in favor?
Sure.
Omar.
64-36. Juve.
I'm going 60-40. Juve.
You guys are crazy.
Now, let's get to total offsides for Juve. Omar. 2.
No, 3. 3.
2 for me.
I'm going 4. Now, let's go with Dells has got 52% possession. We're going to wait for his offside tally. Total attempts and how many on target for Juventus. And Dells has 4 offsides as well.
Al, you start this one.
My total attempts for Juventus are going to be 14 with 6 on target.
I'll go 12 and 5.
Those birds are beautiful in the background, by the way.
Doesn't
it's amazing.
12. Yeah, pull out my shotgun soon.
12 and 5 for me, man. Dells is 10 and 4.
What are you going at?
12 and 5.
And Omar?
I'm calling a big one. I'm going with like 17 and 10 on target.
Whew. All right. Halftime score.
1-0 Juve.
Omer?
2-0 Juve. 2-0.
2-0 Juve. I'm going 1-0 Juve at half.
I'm just taking
And
all your money
Dells
today.
is we're waiting. He's got 10 attempts for on target. I got that. We're just waiting. He goes 0-0 at half. Full-time score, gentlemen.
2-0 Juventus.
2-0.
2-0. Yeah.
Okay. And
Jeez, I don't
Omer?
know.
I'm calling a big one. The 4-2-3-1 is going to shine. 4-0.
When was the last time we won like over 2-0?
I'm going
Landucci
for
ball. Landucci
3-0
ball.
Juventus win.
Ducci ball.
And Dells is going 2-0 Juve.
Sorry, Al, what did you say?
3-0.
You all stink. This is just easy money.
This
for me
has got
today.
3-0 written all over it.
Sure does.
3-0.
Yellow
That-
cards?
all over it. Now, goal scorers, and then man of the match, and we have completed this. Swarit, I just want to highlight this 4-1. Dushan with a brace. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going deuce on the loose with a big old moose with 2.
So a Vlahovic brace. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Omar, goal scorers.
Yeah, I'm calling a Vlahovic brace too. Some defender goal. The lift is always a nice one. And Dybala gets one.
Oh,
Okay,
right. He
I
still
got
plays for us.
3-0.
I forgot about that guy.
So I'm gonna go Vlahovic. I'm gonna go Dybala getting a brace. And then that's it for me.
What about yellow cards? That's always a good tiebreaker.
Dell's goal scorers, Dusan and Danilo.
Yeah. Danilo's a good call. He hasn't bagged one. Has he bagged one this year?
Yeah, against Atalanta. He gave us the draw against Atalanta in the 93rd minute.
Man of the match, everybody.
I don't know
Wrapping
that.
up man of the match.
I'm going with Vlahovic. I'm going with the big man. The big man, he scored that goal last game. I think he's ready to break out here.
Omar?
Paulo.
I think I'm going to go with Dybala.
Easy money today.
Dells has got Delict.
Easy
Always
money.
a good shout.
Mhm.
Always a good shout. Now, that wraps up the prediction challenge. Obviously, we'll see who the winner is tomorrow on the post-match podcast.
This guy.
Great stuff. Great stuff. VAR, man of the match again. Hopefully not. Absolute gong show against the Snakes. This was a fun one. It's great to be back. Missed last weekend, obviously. Tried to make it happen, but the tournament took way too much out of this old body and just couldn't cut it. And when you're away from the family and you don't get as much sleep as you used to, sometimes you just want to sleep. So, but you guys were all in good hands. Guys did a great job. Fantastic stuff. I was expecting maybe another forklift clip because you never know what happens when the gaffer's out of the show.
Once in a lifetime, man.
That one was surfacing again this week, and that was fantastic stuff when Omer jumped on there. So funny. The guess, I think, was brilliant because Anthony's like, "Are you at the back of a circus?" I thought he was at a strip club or something. I was like, "Are you at a strip club?" It was good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I can make it happen again if you'd like.
Oh yeah. Well, it's now everyone when they see Omar's going to be on the show, they just don't know from where he's going to be tuning in. So it's always good stuff.
I'm gonna start
Keeping the
surprising
viewers
and pop
on
up
their
in
toes.
different areas.
Guys, Juve today has to get the job done. Is there any shot still of anything higher than third, second, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Never count anything out. Never.
Milan's
count
last
anything
5
out.
games are an absolute nightmare. Do you see Inter dropping enough to make things interesting for
Only Napoli.
Yeah.
Third. That's it.
Hey, look at that. Great timing from Jeremiah. Do you guys think we can finish in second place this season?
No. No, we're 9 points back with a game in hand. No,
Yeah.
with 5 to
No.
go. It's not happening.
Don't
Third.
think we'll
Um,
hit second, eh? Probably third.
Until it's mathematically not possible and everything goes.
Yeah. I'm just I can't turn that off, man. Can't turn it off.
I can.
I
Yeah.
just gotta see. I gotta see. There's a couple matches in particular I'm watching Inter for, and if they drop, I'll be okay. But their schedule's pretty light. Any chances Vlahovic finish top Serie A scorer? Think
Oh,
he
yeah.
can get there, boys?
Oh yeah.
Think he's going to do it?
Giro's, I don't
he's
know. That's a tough bet.
He's 2 back of Immobile, 2 or 3.
I think he's 2 right now.
Yeah, Immobile had a hot trick in the last game, so he jumped Vlahovic. I don't know. Maybe he'll get injured.
24
Possibly.
for Immobile, 22 for Vlahovic.
Yeah, he can get there for sure.
Is he going to do it? You're going to put a call on that?
I got money on both to win the Capo Canieri, so either way I win.
There we go. There we go. He's fine either way.
Mhm.
I think Vlahovic can do it. Do I think he will? Yes.
Of course you
Yes.
do.
Of course I do. By the way, friendly reminder again, everybody, show some love. Striped Tarts Apparel. The Vlahovic tees back by popular demand. So
I got
go
one.
grab
It's
yourself
nice.
a Vlahovic tee. Everybody, you know where to tune in tomorrow. Okay, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, post-match podcast. We're going to celebrate what should be a victory today. Okay, let's see. And then we'll get into all the aftermath and tackle this match. And that youngster chat, whew, that one was pretty intense. It's interesting to see where all of
Kids
you
chat.
stand on this. Cherubini has done an exceptional job with that project, though it has to be said. Arriva Bene, too. We're going to talk about Arriva Bene tomorrow because, man, I can't help but feel we're starting to take a big step towards the old days with Arriva Bene and where Juventus stood with players and talent and everything. So we're going to get into all that. It's going to be good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody who's in the live. You guys did a great job.
I just want to say one last thing. Cherubini is the one who built the U23 team and the women's team, and they both had massive success in the short period of time they existed. So give them some time to work, and the future is bright. No doubt.
Yeah, there you go. The future is bright. And again, some of our worst years in this past decade of dominance, however, still miles ahead.
Too bright.
Miles ahead of the others. And think to what the others did when they went through troubles and how far they dropped. Juve's too strong. Too strong, everybody. Let's go. Future is bright. Omer's got the shades on. We're ready to rock. Everybody enjoy the match, okay? Hopefully we get that victory. Hopefully we get the goals to celebrate. And then we'll meet tomorrow, same time, and get into it on the post-match podcast. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, okay? It's all Juve cast, all Juve all the time, where we bleed black and white, baby. Ciao tutti. Fino alla fine. Forza Juve.